Hello, my name is Bridget, and today we are going to be talking about, can you guess? Can you guess? No, you can't because I didn't read it, but I've been saying I'm going to read it. Well, I read The Unbecoming of Dyer by Hodkin. Yes, I finally read it, guys. After saying I'm going to read it for like 2 months, I finally read it this month. Achievement. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're just going to go over my rating for this book. Characters, I gave a 19 out of 20 or 1 star. There were really complex characters during this book. You really understood Mara, and we're trying to figure out everything just like she was. Her and Noah were both really well done, and even the sort of secondary characters were done really well. Like Jamie, Daniel, and her mom, and even his mom were done really well. So I feel like those characters were just really well done. Plot, I gave a 16 out of 20 or 3/4 of a star. The whole idea throughout this book is that Mara is trying to figure out what has been happening to her and what happened that night of the accident at her old home with her friends. Like, what happened to her friends in the asylum? We find out slowly throughout the book more and more about what happened that night. There was a lot of build-up to what was happening at the end and figuring out what had actually happened, but I didn't think it was that shocking, so I didn't really think all the build-up was necessary. Setting, I gave a 17 out of 20 or 3/4 of a star. Noah's house was really well done, and the moments where she's having a flashback or a hallucination are really vivid and intriguing, and you could just picture everything that's happening very clearly because it's supposed to be very creepy, and you have to be able to picture it if you want it to be extremely creepy. She has just moved to Florida because she moved away from her old home because of what happened at the asylum. But we didn't really get that much description of her school or even her house. Like, she was in that house for forever, it seemed like. She never left her room, really, but we never really got a description of her room. Like, it wasn't that great of a description of her room, even though she was in there for a solid 100 pages at least. And even the school we didn't get that much description about. Writing, I gave an 18 out of 20 or 1 star. Like many other writers recently, the writing didn't really stand out to me. It did set the mood of the book very well, the creepy, dark, mysterious mood, and I felt like that was very well done. However, it just didn't really stand out to me compared to any others. Enjoyment, I gave a 16 out of 20 or 3/4 of a star. I didn't really enjoy reading this as much as I thought I would. Maybe it's because I just wasn't really in the mood for it. I was sort of wanting to read it just because then I can read it and say I finished it finally. But like when I first got it, I was like really excited to read it. I feel like if I would have read it then I would have like enjoyed it better. And that I didn't enjoy it that much. And it was creepy, but it wasn't as creepy as I was expecting it to be. And it felt really slow, but at the same time things were happening. So things were happening, but it still seemed really slow, which sort of was a bummer. I think that is because of the perspective we had seeing the story told. It was Mara's perspective, and she's like hallucinating and everything the whole time, so it's not very reliable and all that, so there's that. I do want to pick up the next book. I don't want to pick it up immediately, like I don't have to go buy it right now. I want to read the next book because that ending was very interesting and made me want to see what happens next, but it's not really a priority. But I would like to find out what happened and sort of how everything came to this. It's all very intriguing, so I would like to find out how all this came about. Overall, I gave it an 86% or 4.5 stars. Did enjoy it, but just it wasn't one of my faves of this year so far. So that's all I really have to say about The Unbecoming of Dyer by Hodkin. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be up very soon. It will be my wrap-up for the first July Duodecton. And I'll see you guys then. Okay, bye! Book, this is what we're talking about. Ah, I finally read it. Hurrah. Hurrah.